Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another JVS review of the hit CW and HBO Max show Stargirl. So we're on episode 11 here. Episode 11 is named Stars and Stripes. Yep, Stars and Stripes. I had to make sure I said that right. It's named Stars and Stripes Part 1. So here's a quick description of the episode. With the ISA on their trail, Courtney, Pat, and the team regroup to figure out their next steps. Rick makes a breakthrough. The team prepares for a showdown with the ISA. Well, very quickly here, just like any other thing in any other film or television show in this genre, when you get to the part 1 of an episode that's meant to be a two-parter for a finale, the episode kind of does not clear up anything. It is really a basic setup episode to get you to the end of the season and the end of the last episode, and that's what happens here with this episode. Wow, still good, still really good, still really fascinating, executed extremely well with some of the, again, best fight scenes you're going to see on a CW show. It still leaves you craving more because you know there's way more to the story that's left over. So, the episode begins with Jordan and his plan in full swing to take over the world. Also, with his plan in full swing to kill Courtney and her family. Like, everything is set up at the beginning of this episode where a lot is finally started to be revealed about their plan. Again, with this being the second to last episode, at this point, everything's on the table here. And this episode lays everything on the table. And it just starts off with him still, Jordan Icicle, still being conflicted about the order to kill Courtney and her family. But he understands his plan must go forward, so it must happen. Again, it's a beautiful setup, the way to start off this episode. And on the other end of the spectrum, we have Courtney and Barbara cleaning out their house, trying to get away from everything before they know ish is about to hit the fan, especially with Brainwave knowing exactly who they are. And we also get Pat and Mike going to the garage as Pat is attempting to finally tell Mike about everything. So he's no longer left in the dark. And he does this by the facade of telling Mike that during the school year, they're about to go on a camping trip. Again, these moments are kind of touching because it's the family element moments, but luckily for us in this episode, which is highly important when you have those part 1s to finales, is that they hit the action and they hit it hard and fast. So while Pat is doing all of that and Jordan has sent Sportsmaster and Tigress after their family, first we see Sportsmaster, who Pat knows as his gym instructor, approaching him in his garage about the robot and revealing to Pat he knows exactly who he is and that he's there to kill him. And their confrontation is brutal, to say the least. This is some of the hardest hitting action for Pat this season. And Pat does little to nothing to help defend himself. As if you know anything about Sportsmaster, you understand the strength of Sportsmaster. You understand the power that he has, and it's on full display as he's pummeling Pat at multiple points at the beginning of this episode. And then on the other side, we have Tigress, who starts off by attacking Barbara, and then Courtney and the staff help save Barbara. Their fight scene is, again, just the show of just how amazing the staff and Courtney are when they work together, and just some of the flashes of cinematography that they pull off with the staff, along with just the athleticism of Courtney's character and how it really translates well to great fight scenes. So between Pat's fight with Sportsmaster, we get the beginning of this episode, which is, again, high volume, high action, everything you want before you get to the quiet moments that you kind of expect in these type of stuff, that you're going to get the quiet moments. So after the big thing, Pat escape Sportsmaster, Courtney and Barbara escape Tigress, and they go off to the cabin where we finally get to see, again, with Barbara's knowledge of everything, the complete team together. And it's pretty dope, including Justin showing up. Not fully explained why Justin shows up here, but he shows up. Again, it's awesome to see this full team on display here and to see them interact and it have nothing to do with just fighting. This is like their quiet moments as a group and a family as they're attempting to get together to just decide how everything is going to go. While that team is going through that, we get a amazingly beautiful confrontation between Sydney and Brainwave. Sydney is still trapped up, still locked up by her dad, and Brainwave is using his mind to speak to her, basically telling her, it's kind of your fault that Henry is dead. If I knew he had powers, I wouldn't have killed him. I would have been able to help him, which in turn, a lot of things would be different. Also in this confrontation, it is revealed to Sydney that the entire ISA feels, just like her father, that she should remain locked up and that she is useless to them. Those statements and what happened there, to me, is going to be the biggest thing that pays dividends in season 2 for Stargirl. It's clear that Sydney is the huge main villain for Stargirl. And if they play this right with the ISA in season 1 and to attempt to go to her in season 2, I think it's going to be so good, because they are building her up to be an ultimate villain that will have disregard for the JSA and the ISA. And that's something I think everyone should look forward to. But after Sportsmaster and Tigress fail, Jason Isaac calls the Fiddler in to try to clean out the whole situation. In the same time where the Fiddler's called to clean out the whole situation, we have just shots of the team and everything that they're going through at the cabin. It's kind of like a bonding experience between them, but it's kind of also a little bit of a truth session, from Beth asking Yolanda about Henry and how she feels about Henry, to Rick and Justin, or Justin attempting to help Rick break his father's journal, and even a conversation between Pat and Barbara. You get all sets up for just that emotional weight that you kind of need in this type of episode to set you up for the finale, which you would kind of expect to be completely action-packed. So this episode has those quiet moments that are necessary in any part 1 to be set up. And then after that, after we get the pure setup of the cabin, we get Rick finally breaking the code to his father's journal, which reveals that his father already knew the complete plans of the ISA and how to get to their secret lair, to find everything, and how to stop this machine. Now, one of the funniest moments of this show, one of the funniest moments of this episode, is where we finally find out exactly the plan of the ISA. And I'm not going to tell you, but everything that their plan is, literally is everything everyone currently now is fighting in the world to have. Anything great for people is what the ISA plan is. The only downfall is that their plan would kill 25 million people to achieve this goal. So it's an amazing setup. It leads to even Courtney being amazed, like, wait a minute, is this stuff they're asking for a bad thing? And Rick asking Pat, hey, are we on the wrong side here? It's like, it's the comedic element that you kind of need in the big dramatic scene that is this episode. But that's all I want to give you for this episode. Again, it is a setup episode, but I clearly still want you all to check it out and let us know what you think. This has been another JVS review of Stargirl, which drops Monday on DC Universe, Tuesday on CW. Check it out. Let us know what you think, people. Peace.